Hey everybody, it's Austin Ward for Lettermen Row, back with another BuckIQ, back with the big man Terence Dials in here, former Ohio State professional basketball player, breaking it down. And Terence, we talked before that big showdown with Maryland last week, that losing skid for Chris Holtmann, trying to get things right, and then it just didn't happen. I don't know what it was, but the Buckeyes looked flat. They gave up a bunch of threes, and then before they knew it, they were dealing with their fourth straight loss.
I think a lot of it is the energy. You have to come out with energy, and I know it's difficult when you're kind of in a losing stretch. You know, it's kind of hard to get up, but at some point, the players need to understand, like, it's now. Mm-hmm. It's not like we can get it next game. You got to get it now, and a lot of those guys aren't understanding that the Big Ten is, I mean, obviously, you know, as we're starting to see, it's tough every day.
We're trying to look for some bright spots for how Ohio State could turn it around, and I looked at Dwayne Washington. We've got him. We're going to break him down on BuckIQ later on here, some of the shots he made from the perimeter. But that's just one guy stepping up. And now with Kyle Young potentially out for the next couple of weeks with a stress fracture, Ohio State's got to find some guys who can help Caleb Wesson out and get that offense going again.
Well, yeah, I mean, you know, at a program like Ohio State, it's always should be the next man up. And unfortunately for Kyle, he has that stress fracture, but now it's Ladie. He has to come in here and give us big minutes. But other guys have to step up on the scoring end, and we're just not having that right now.
Before we roll on here with Dwayne, what do you like about this freshman's game? He seems like a very confident shooter.
I love the confidence. He comes in and you know, he's like a microwave. You know, he's getting his shots up. Sometimes the shots aren't the best shots for him, but you know, coaches instill that confidence in him, and I like that he has a mentality of a scorer. You know, obviously we need that on this team this year, but I would like to see also his energy on the defensive end as well.
We've got some good and some bad to break down with Dwayne Washington Jr. He scored 14 points against Maryland. It wasn't enough. Buckeyes came up short. They've lost 4 in a row. They're trying to get it back on track Wednesday night against Purdue at home. Another tough one. That Big Ten is a grind.
It's a grind, and you know, that's what Coach Peden said. He's like, it's a meat grinder, and you know, they're starting to experience that right now.
All right, so Dwayne Washington Jr. going to be needed to score again on Wednesday night. Let's roll the tape.
Their game dominated them in the paint. Without Wesson on the floor, Ohio State didn't have an answer. The three launched and hit.
Through a tough conference like the Big Ten, especially for freshmen.
Dwayne Washington missed a couple from deep. Took one inside. He's got 5. Able to connect on the first try, and the ball taken away before the second.
And that's where Jada Smith has to get stronger to secure that rebound.
Washington, big 3 for the Buckeyes.
All right, Terence, just to start with, you've got Dwayne Washington, and you said he's got no fear. A deep one with the shot clock winding down is a good way to get things rolling.
Well, that's just individual. That's just practice, you know, in the gym, you know, working on your one-on-one skills. This is no screen. This was just one-on-one. I'm better than you type shot.
And we've talked about that, too, with this team, trying to get a scorer who can make things happen with their own as you let it keep going here on film. You know, this is what Keita Bates-Diop used to be able to provide, and I'm not saying that he's Keita, but this is an example of a guy making something happen.
Exactly. These are the shots that Keita made last year that made this offense click, you know, when we needed that bucket, that tough bucket. Right now, this team doesn't have that player. And hopefully, you know, in the second half of this Big Ten, somebody can emerge.
This takes some confidence, but, too, it's a little bit part of that game that seems like it's gone out of vogue, that mid-range jumper. Obviously, everybody wants to knock down threes, and Ohio State needs more of them because Dwayne Washington is capable of that. But it's like he has a little bit of unique ability to be a scorer for this team.
Yeah, well, his unique ability is able to put it on the floor and score off the dribble. A lot of the guys on the team right now are catch-and-shoot players, and you need that guy who can put it on the floor and go get a bucket.
You and I both saw this one. Like, well, I don't even remember that happening. Like,
I mean, he was doing a great job on Friday of, you know, of making good baskets, and you know, this is obviously, it just shows he can dribble and get to the rack when he needs to.
You got to give credit to that big man, too, creating some space down there.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's going to draw a lot of attention, big, wide body. He definitely opens up some lanes for you.
Sometimes you can make things happen with a 6'9" frame without.
If you notice that right there, he just set a double screen when he was just trying to set a single screen. He moved both guys. That's what freed him up.
Sometimes you got to give credit to those other guys on the floor.
Absolutely. It's like an assist. You feel good about it.
That's right. You get more credit on the film study than you do on the box score.
There you go.
This is a confidence. This is maybe one of those off-the-screen moves here.
Well, that's just, this defender was a little late. He was scared of Caleb setting the screen right here. And, he came off. Washington came off confident.
course, it was unfortunate for Ohio State. You know, they went down and gave up another 3 right before halftime. That was sort of the theme. Like, they don't have enough shooters to give away as many as they did to Maryland on Friday night. And Dwayne Washington needs to step up, but as we see later on here, he's not going to make every 3 that he takes.
And that's just basketball. You're not going to make every 3 you take, but I thought he had some really good looks that he missed. His point total could have went to 23 real fast. I mean, he had a lot of in and out shots.
By C.J. Jackson.
Finds Washington open. He'll fire, not hit. Wesson the rebound. Second chance for Washington. This one won't go either. Terrapins starting to pull away, up 11 on the road.
Well, Fernando knows that he can be aggressive against Wesson.
Big 3 for Washington. That's not going to go. Teams in his bracket every week. Both of these teams, by the way, in his latest bracket today. Ohio State a 9, Maryland a 4. The 3 from number 4 won't go, and Fernando the rebound.
This is an example here, too. Usually you feel really good, like you get the exact same look twice in a row.
We call that 2 for 1, 2 for $1. Should have got it.
Some of these, too, as we look at Terrence, like they weren't far off. He wasn't taking bad shots. A lot of times he was open. But that's been something to watch with him. Sometimes the shot selection has not been great. Sometimes he's getting good looks and they just don't go down. And that can probably be frustrating for a team, frustrating for a freshman. I don't know, frustrating for everybody.
Well, the freshmen, they're normally going to hit a wall. But I think Coach is doing a great job of instilling that confidence. If you're open, you shoot. And as you see on this team has that confidence. If you're open, you shoot. We just don't have a lot of the great shooters that we normally had in the past.
Yeah, and this is an example, too, that and we talked about it last week before the Maryland game, making sure that you get these post entries down. It's another part of his game that he's going to have to add. That's Caleb is a huge part of the Ohio State offense.
Well, if you look, I mean, it comes from, you know, having shooters on the perimeter. You know, guys can't help so much down in here. If you see, once he gets post position, you got 2 guys right here ready for help. If these guys are knockdown shooters, they'll be more glued to them.
Right. So
that opens things up.
You've said that before. It's the scouting reports are out on Ohio State. And you know that you have to take Caleb Wesson out of this game.
Absolutely. I mean, that's your number 1 target is take him out of the game, and then you let guys like CJ shoot the ball and try to beat you from the perimeter.
This one here, I'm curious your thoughts because it's a decent look, but we keep hearing from Ohio State or Chris Holtmann, pass up the good one to get a great one. I wonder if this extra pass here or even around to Luther Muhammad on the other side.
It could have been a pump fake drive. If you notice right here, it's a pump fake. He's already leaving his feet on the shot. So
okay.
You can obviously pump fake him. Get in a little closer right here in the mid-range where you've been knocking shots down all game.
Learning experience there for Dwayne Washington Jr. Still had a good game, 14 points. Needed a little bit more help. Needed a couple buckets, as Terrence said there, that could have gone down, turned it into a 23-point night. That's sort of the frustration right now. Ohio State is just in a funk. Needed to find some way out of it.
You got to find some way out of it. I think it's just going to take one player to be that spark, you know, one player to kind of ignite the team. He was close to being that player on Friday. Yeah. You know, Coach Holtmann has a great staff. They're going to get it together. They're going to find a way to get wins. It's just been a tough start to 2019.
We'll see if Dwayne Washington can keep it going and if he can get some more assistance from his friends there on Wednesday night against Purdue. Ohio State looking to break that 4-game losing streak. Terence Dials will be back with us to break it all down, win or lose. I know which one he's hoping to break down next time he's in here. It's been a rough couple of BuckIQs.
It's been a rough couple of weeks. I'm hoping to get a win so we can talk about something good.
Back to a little bit more good stuff. So that's Terence Dials. I'm Austin Ward. This has been BuckIQ at Lettermen Row. We'll see you next week.